in this home behind me, 27-year-old Donna Smith was found in the upstairs bedroom where she died from a drug overdose. 24 hours after 37-year-old Anthony Boone shot and killed Rebecca Salt, authorities say they found him in a wooded area. These protesters are here outside of the courthouse to put an end to racism and police brutality. You can take a look behind me, signs that read Black Lives Matter. After an overnight police standoff where Christopher Knauf was shot and killed by state police, you can still see the aftermath. Just moments ago, the jury found Kimberly Williams guilty of involuntary manslaughter in connection to the death of her husband after Jonathan Gallagher was arrested for setting a home on fire in Coalport. Court documents say it was an argument that led to the arson. Jen, in day one of the Kimberly Williams murder trial, multiple witnesses were called to the stand, including the Clearfield County coroner, who initially thought that this case was a suicide. Very few people who are fully vaccinated have died from COVID-19. According to new data released by the CDC, 99% of the vaccinated have not had breakthrough cases leading to death or hospitalizations. More people at Penn State are calling for the university to mandate COVID vaccinations on campus this fall. The university president admits politics is playing a role in their decision not to require vaccinations. More now from Gary Sanderson. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden's goal of door-to-door vaccines to combat hesitancy is facing backlash from some of the most conservative members of Congress. Talk about a hot summer. July was the hottest month ever recorded around the world. Now, Tony, yesterday's thunderstorms were kind of depressing, so please give me some good news for the weather this weekend.
We got great news coming in, Chelsea.
A Jefferson County man is sentenced to 15 to 30 years in prison for the shooting death of his roommate. 65-year-old William Civic pleaded guilty to killing 60-year-old Amos Smale. Williams told authorities he shot and killed Smale in May of last year because he was, quote, tired of him. As of today, Perry has not responded to Sarah Murray's request for comment, but his actions have enraged Democrats. There have already been calls for him to resign, and he responded to those calls earlier this year with a one-word press release: no.
If all lives matter, then let my life matter. Let Osaze's life matter.
That message from one of the protesters in honor of Osaze Osage, who was shot and killed by State College police last March. Today, his parents were at this Black Lives Matter protest, calling for police reform.
There has to be accountability and transparency. And that begins with accountability and transparency in our own region, where our son Osaze was killed by the police a year ago.
She says that starts here today.
Excessive force, microaggressions, systemic racism, and injustices of every stripe must stop.
For Kyra Gines, she is seeking transparency.
What got to me was how silent the town was and how much people genuinely believe here that we live in a bubble where nothing problematic happens, where it's just Happy Valley, Penn State, everything is fine.
Gines has been a student activist for years, and today she's calling for people to step up for justice.
While showing up is more than what most people do, we have always been in a time where showing up is not enough, and we need to stop pretending that it is.
It's an experience some say is personal.
I just know what it feels like to feel left out and feel like the only black person in the room and just feeling alone.
And a hope that the wave of activism here in State College and nationwide will create change.
Just being around here with a sense of community, knowing that people have my back here, that's all I wanted to feel here, and I am feeling that today.
There was a passing motorist that saw a suspect saw an individual cross the road that met the description of Anthony Boone.
Captain Wayne Klein says they received a tip around 10:30 this morning that Anthony Boone was seen near Old Erie Pike. He says they set up a perimeter and pinpointed his location to a wooded area. Around 2:30 this afternoon, authorities say they saw Boone coming out of the woods.
Troopers and officers engaged him, started giving him verbal commands to drop the weapon, at which time, he ended up inflicting a gunshot wound to himself.
Klein says Boone shot himself in the chest with a .308 hunting rifle, the same rifle used to kill 40-year-old Rebecca Salt. Authorities say Salt was found shot and killed in a home she was staying in along Legion Road in Hyde, Clearfield County. At this time, we don't know what led to the killing, but authorities say Boone has a history of violence.
I'm aware of a couple separate PFA orders from two separate counties.
Klein did confirm that there was a PFA between Boone and the victim.
He does have a history, but nothing like this, so not sure what would have sent him over the edge on this one.